Well, the course that I teach is called Higher Living Leadership. And it, once again, is about raising the bar on every leader. So we begin to have a different vantage point. We look at things through the reality of heaven, but it's very relevant and very applicable to every sphere of influence. So it's about raising up reformers. It's about raising up those instruments of justice. It's about dealing with, I believe, the number one enemy, which is fear. Because if we can overcome fear, nothing will be able to stop you from fulfilling the call of God upon your life. If we can overcome the lies of the enemy about our identity, can you imagine the creativity that's going to be released through you? Can you imagine how prophetically you're going to have strategies for your sphere of influence? And so in Higher Living Leaders, I talk about the importance of being that reformer. And reformation to me, according to my definition, is to rescue from error and return to the rightful course. So there's been a lot of things that have gotten off course in our world, and we get to be those voices, we get to be those hands to rescue from error and bring it back to how God intended it to be. I have developed something called Validation Quotient, and it's a term that God has given me to be able to communicate my heart in God in a business way or in a corporate way or in a governmental way. And validation quotient is the ability to see my value and my worth. What do I bring to the table that benefits the whole, and to be able to celebrate who I am? Because if I can't celebrate me, I can't celebrate you. If I can't love who God created me to be, I can't love who God created you to be. And so the first most important thing is to value myself, and axiogenics, that science of mind-brain, science of values generation, this all fits with science. But to value myself, then have the ability to generate value in others, and then change my culture through validation. It's a powerful training that we can apply to our families, we can apply it in our communities, we can apply it into every sphere of influence that we happen to be in. I will cover how to find our personal purpose, what are the keys that cause you to really see who you are and what God has put in your heart to accomplish. And what's so amazing, when you can know your personal purpose, you'll know where to spend your time and not where to spend your time. You'll know what to say yes to and what to say no to. You'll know how to prepare, because when you know where you're going, you're going to know what you need to add to yourself to get to where you want to go. So knowing your purpose is absolutely critical. And you'll discover your adapted values and how you relate and connect to your culture, and how you relate and connect to other values, how to bring together shared values. And this is great for corporations, it's great for families, it's great in solving problems and understanding individual motivators, invisible motivators, things. See, you can see what somebody really values not by what they say, but by what they do. And so when you can begin to determine that for yourself as well as others, you'll know who to connect to. One reason I'm connecting to the university is because I recognize there's shared values. There's invisible motivators that not everybody can see just by looking at someone's face. But there's an invisible motivator, an invisible propellant, an invisible purpose that drives us in a unified direction. And that stirs us. And we make more decisions based upon our values than we do our personality. We can celebrate different personalities. And yeah, there's some conflicts there, but we can understand we need every personality. But the key is, what causes us to really excel and succeed is bringing the mutually agreed, mutually passionate, adapted values together to accomplish a unified goal. I go into building trust. How do I demonstrate that I'm trustworthy? And how do I recognize the trustworthy? I go into empathy, and because without empathy, every door that is open for us will soon close. Because if we can't relate and connect to how other people feel, see, we're critical of what we do not understand, but when I take time to understand another, that I'm going to see doors open. I'm going to see hearts open. And I've seen that so much through the years that when people know I really care about them, that I take time to understand them, to see where they're coming from, it opens up their heart. And I'll just add this, I have led more people to the Lord through my consulting company, where I can't preach, than I have personally as a pastor in 35 years of pastoring. So that says something to me about what God is doing. And so I want to equip people to know how to do that. I want to equip people to know how to be a leader in those spheres of influence. And so I know, and I'm thoroughly convinced, if you can connect to higher living leaders, it'll take you to a higher place where you'll walk in higher thinking, knowing how to manage your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your reactions, how to assess yourself to see your skills, your abilities, your passions, but also a discernment to know what could be sabotaging your success. So higher thinking. It's also about taking higher responsibility. Because see, leadership isn't about position. Leadership is about using that position as an instrument of justice for the good of others. So it is taking on greater levels of responsibility. Sometimes when a door opens for me, people say, "Isn't that an honor?" And I go, "Yes, it is, but it's also more responsibility." And so I need to embrace higher levels of responsibility, get rid of every excuse why I think I can't, get rid of every excuse about the things that I don't think I know, but be faithful to who I am in God and be willing to pay the price to learn what I don't know and to do the things I think I can't do, because you can do so much more than you ever dreamed you could do. And then thirdly, it's about having a higher cause. See, if I only work, even in business, government, if I'm a teacher, if I only work for money, I'm a hireling. Why is it just in church? If a pastor just works for money, he's a hireling and you shouldn't work for money. No, money is a necessary compensation of life so we can pay our bills and we have an agent of exchange, as it were, to have our needs met. But it's not about money, it's about a higher cause. It's doing what I do with a higher purpose, living our life in light of eternity. David was able to come against Goliath because he had a higher cause. He knew the covenant he had. He said, "Is there not a cause? Come on, guys, why aren't you fighting this giant? Isn't there a cause?" And he literally confronted fear with a courage because of his call, because of a cause. And so when he did that, it caused all the army of Israel to rise up because they saw a man with courage, a young man with courage, who was willing to live for a cause greater than himself. So when we talk about higher leaders, it's higher thinking, higher responsibility, and a higher cause.